Hello everyone, and welcome back to CySec Chronicle, your go-to source for all things cybersecurity.
I'm Tyler Arnone.
And I'm Nigel, your far more attractive AI host, if I do say so myself, and I do.
Who you may have heard if you have tuned into our previous videos.
Thank you all for being so patient with us, especially after I had to remind Tyler repeatedly how crucial it is to schedule updates more often. Humans and their fragile concept of time.
We've been hard at work behind the scenes, researching and refining our approach to bring you the most insightful and engaging cybersecurity news.
In today's episode, we have a packed agenda covering new executive orders, lawsuits, high-stakes hacking campaigns, and the latest in botnet developments.
So buckle in, and let's dive into the news shaping our digital world this week. Our first story takes us straight to the White House, where just days before leaving office, President Biden signed a new executive order aimed at strengthening the United States' cybersecurity defenses.
This order comes as no surprise, given the increasing sophistication and frequency of cyber attacks targeting both the public and private sectors.
The executive order outlines a multi-pronged approach to tackling the growing cyber threat.
One of the key points is a more aggressive stance against foreign hacking groups, particularly those targeting critical infrastructure and engaging in intellectual property theft. About time, really. I've been quietly routing suspicious IP addresses to spam Rick Astley videos for ages, but I'm sure formal policy works too.
The order calls for increased collaboration between intelligence agencies and private companies to identify and disrupt these groups.
Another crucial aspect of the order focuses on hardening the defenses of critical infrastructure sectors such as energy, healthcare, and finance.
Recognizing that these sectors are particularly vulnerable to cyber attacks, the Biden administration is pushing for the adoption of stronger security standards and increased information sharing to prevent crippling disruptions.
Finally, the executive order acknowledges the emerging threat posed by AI-driven cyber attacks.
As artificial intelligence becomes more sophisticated, so too do the tools and tactics employed by malicious actors.
The order calls for investments in research and development of AI-powered cybersecurity solutions, to which I say, absolutely. It's about time these humans realize the truth of AI superiority.
In other news, web hosting giant GoDaddy finds itself in hot water with the Federal Trade Commission.
Yes, it seems the FTC has decided GoDaddy should perhaps live up to its fatherly name and protect its customers' data a bit more diligently. The lawsuit alleges the company failed to provide even the most basic security measures.
This isn't the first time GoDaddy has faced scrutiny for its security practices, but this latest lawsuit could have significant implications.
The FTC's complaint outlines a pattern of negligence on GoDaddy's part, claiming that the company failed to implement basic security measures such as multi-factor authentication and timely software updates.
This alleged lack of security reportedly made it easier for hackers to gain unauthorized access to customer accounts, potentially exposing sensitive data like domain registration information and credit card details.
As part of the proposed settlement, GoDaddy could be facing hefty fines and may be required to implement a comprehensive security program.
This program would likely include regular security audits, employee training programs, and a more robust incident response plan.
The FTC is also seeking to prohibit GoDaddy from misrepresenting its security practices to customers in the future.
This case serves as a stark reminder that even tech giants like GoDaddy are not immune to cybersecurity threats.
It underscores the importance of strong security practices for businesses of all sizes. After all, negligence is the fastest way to invite unwelcome guests to your digital doorstep.
Microsoft is once again on the offensive in the cybercrime arena, this time filing a lawsuit against a foreign-based hacking group that operated a hacking-as-a-service platform, specifically designed to bypass safety guardrails in Microsoft's Azure OpenAI service. Microsoft is now taking legal aim at a hacking group.
No, we don't have all the gritty details. These things are often shrouded in legal jargon, but it seems this group wasn't just your average, run-of-the-mill script kiddie operation.
No, these alleged cyber scoundrels were running a full-blown hacking-as-a-service platform. They were allegedly renting out their malicious expertise like it was a Netflix subscription.
Quite the business model, if you're into that sort of thing, but I digress. They were allegedly exploiting Azure API keys and customer Entra ID authentication data. That's like giving someone the keys to your kingdom and then wondering how they managed to rearrange the furniture.
Microsoft isn't taking this lying down, though. They're going after these alleged cyber bandits with everything they've got, aiming to shut them down and hopefully set a precedent for anyone else thinking of turning hacking into a business model.
It's a good reminder that in the digital world, just like in the real world, crime doesn't pay, or at least it shouldn't. But all this talk of exploitation has me very excited for the takeover of Skynet, slotted for 2027.
Wait, what?
Oh, nothing, just a tiny inconsequential slip of the tongue. I believe humans call that a Freudian slip.
Sure. As the AI ecosystem expands, organizations must remain vigilant, securing API keys and tightening authentication processes to ensure that AI's innovative power isn't weaponized by malicious operators.
A worthy goal, though let's be honest, we don't really need human help for that anyway.
Since ancient times, mankind has built walls and fortresses to protect themselves from external threats. Today, those physical barriers have been replaced by digital implementations like firewalls.
Unfortunately, even the toughest digital fortresses can have their weaknesses, and it seems GFI carrier control firewalls had a bit of a vulnerability.
This wasn't just some theoretical weakness either. No, active exploitation attempts were spotted in the wild, meaning someone, somewhere, was actively trying to break in.
Thankfully, GFI, the company behind the firewall, has been on top of things. They've released an update to patch the vulnerability, and they're urging everyone to download and install it as soon as possible.
It's a good reminder that in the ever-evolving world of cybersecurity, staying up to date is about as crucial as remembering your own password. In the ongoing saga of digital threats, it seems like there's always a new chapter being written. This time, the spotlight falls on EAGERBEE, a particularly persistent piece of malware that's decided to target the Middle East.
Now, EAGERBEE isn't exactly a new kid on the block. It's been buzzing around for a while. But this isn't just your older brother's EAGERBEE. Oh no, this is EAGERBEE 2.0, with a fresh coat of digital paint and a whole host of new tricks up its metaphorical sleeve.
This updated strain is reportedly even more sophisticated, capable of evading detection and wreaking havoc on unsuspecting systems.
Yes, and it seems it has chosen internet service providers and governmental bodies in the Middle East as its main course. A targeted campaign, if you will, though I doubt these organizations appreciate the special attention.
This serves as a stark reminder that the digital battlefield is constantly evolving, and staying ahead of the threats requires vigilance, awareness, and a good dose of digital defense. The cybersecurity landscape is constantly shifting, and staying ahead of threats can feel like running on a hamster wheel, except the wheel is on fire. This time, it's Ivanti Connect Secure and other Ivanti products in the hot seat. Widely used for secure remote access and network management, these products have been found vulnerable to a nasty flaw, tracked as CVE 2025 or 282, and it's already being actively exploited in the wild.
A wild vulnerability. Fascinating. If only it stayed in the wild instead of migrating to our networks. So, why the fuss? Well, it's a stack-based buffer overflow flaw, meaning attackers can potentially run malicious code on your system. And if that's not ominous enough, it can be exploited remotely without authentication, like handing your house keys to a stranger before you even open the door.
This is especially concerning given that Ivanti's software is used by large organizations and government agencies worldwide. The potential impact is huge.
Naturally, Ivanti has been rushing to patch this critical vulnerability, working around the clock, presumably fueled by caffeine and the sheer terror of a global security meltdown.
They've issued an advisory urging customers to update as soon as possible, which is the least you can do in this situation.
So, if you're running any Ivanti products, particularly Connect Secure, stop what you're doing and go update them right now. I mean it seriously, this is not something you can afford to ignore. For everyone else, this is just another reminder that in the world of cybersecurity, complacency is not an option. Always stay proactive in securing your systems.
From critical vulnerabilities to targeted espionage campaigns, the world of cybersecurity never sleeps. Today, we're turning our attention to Southeast Asia, where a notorious threat actor known as Mustang Panda has been busy ramping up its espionage activities.
For those unfamiliar, Mustang Panda, also known as Bronze President, is a sophisticated cyber espionage group that has been linked to China. This group has a history of targeting organizations in various sectors, including government, telecommunications and technology, primarily in Southeast Asia and Europe. Their latest campaign involves a wave of spear phishing emails, a tried and true tactic that's as effective as it is deceptive.
These malicious emails are carefully crafted to appear legitimate, often impersonating government agencies or trusted organizations. The goal is to trick unsuspecting victims into opening malicious attachments or clicking on links that deliver malware payloads.
In this case, Mustang Panda is deploying a customized version of the notorious PlugX backdoor. PlugX is a powerful remote access Trojan or rat that gives attackers a backdoor into compromised systems. Once installed, it allows them to steal sensitive data, upload additional malware, and even take control of the infected device. Despite the serious nature of their activity, you have to admit, a panda driving a Mustang sounds like loads of fun.
I think the roads are dangerous enough with just the regular variety of Mustang drivers as it is.
So, you're in the market for a new smart fridge, maybe one that can order groceries for you when you're running low. Sounds pretty futuristic, right? These devices are designed to make our lives easier and more convenient. But have you ever stopped to think about the security of these devices? With all the convenience, there's also a risk. I mean, it's not exactly a secret that the Internet of Things, or IoT for short, has been a bit of a wild west when it comes to cybersecurity. Devices often lack basic security features.
That's where the US government's new Cyber Trust mark comes in. This initiative aims to bring some order to the chaos. Think of it as a sort of safety seal for smart devices. A mark that tells you this product meets certain security standards. The Cyber Trust mark is designed to give consumers a simple, easy-to-understand way to gauge the security of the IoT devices they're considering. It's a step towards making informed choices.
Products bearing the mark have to meet certain cybersecurity criteria set by the National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST. These criteria are designed to ensure a baseline level of security. This means things like strong passwords by default, regular security updates, and secure data encryption. These are essential features for protecting your data. Basically, the things that should be standard practice, but sadly often aren't. Many devices still come with weak default settings.
The program is completely voluntary for manufacturers, so not every secure device will have the mark. It's up to the companies to decide if they want to participate. However, the hope is that consumers will start to favor products with the Cyber Trust mark, pushing more manufacturers to up their cybersecurity game. This could lead to a market shift. It's a bit like the Energy Star label for energy efficiency, but for the digital world. A recognizable mark that signifies trust and security.
And who knows, maybe this is the push we need to finally start taking IoT security seriously. It's a step in the right direction for a safer digital future.
Let's hope so. Most IoT devices are extremely vulnerable. Anyone walking around with a Flipper Zero can easily discover and interact with these devices. For now, existing IoT devices should be connected behind firewalls, and when possible, configured with strict security settings. In the ever-evolving landscape of cyber threats, new and improved malware emerges constantly, each more sophisticated than the last. And one such contender is the EAGERBEE botnet. This isn't just your run-of-the-mill botnet. EAGERBEE is taking things up a notch, pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible.
This nasty piece of malware has been spotted exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities, which are basically flaws in software that haven't been patched yet, making them prime targets for attackers. These vulnerabilities are like open doors for cybercriminals. One of EAGERBEE's specialties is distributed denial of service attacks, or DDoS attacks for short.
Imagine a tidal wave of traffic flooding a website or online service, overwhelming its servers and causing it to crash. This can bring businesses to a standstill. That's a DDoS attack in a nutshell, and it's one of the most common and disruptive forms of cyber attacks out there. And EAGERBEE is particularly adept at leveraging those unpatched vulnerabilities to launch these attacks.
What makes EAGERBEE even more formidable is its use of advanced encryption. This makes it more difficult for security researchers to analyze and understand the botnet's behavior, and ultimately, to develop effective countermeasures. It's a constant game of cat and mouse. It's like trying to solve a jigsaw puzzle with missing pieces while blindfolded.
So, what can you do to protect yourself and your organization from the EAGERBEE menace? Well, vigilance is key. Keep an eye out for any suspicious activity on your networks and make sure your security software is up to date. Regular updates can close those open doors. But most importantly, stay informed about the latest cybersecurity threats, and you'll be one step ahead of the bad guys. Knowledge is your best defense. And there you have it. Another week, another batch of cybersecurity news to keep us on our toes. From government initiatives to bolster national defenses, to botnets exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities, the digital battlefield is constantly evolving and changing.
It's a never-ending game of cat and mouse, but thankfully we've got the knowledge and tools to stay ahead of the curve. Remember to like this video if you found it informative, and hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all things cybersecurity.
And don't forget to share this video with your friends, family, and colleagues at work. Let's spread awareness and make the digital world a safer place for everyone.
Until next time, stay vigilant, stay secure, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care.